folks. How are you tonight on this Saturday night? Well, hello, Mr. Jim. How are you tonight? I hope you are good. I hope the weather's holding for you. I don't know what kind of where you're at, but yeah, it's going to get crazy here for a little bit. Then who knows here, Ohio? I've heard 5 different things. So, but anyways, I hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. I had a good night at Oracle's last night. Got kind of interesting there, but you know, hey, life. I hope everybody's enjoying this crazy weather. Ugh. I feel bad for the old man. Well, actually, we were both feeling it today. Cold and rainy. It's basically what it is here. Cold and rainy. Now it's supposed to. Now we woke up to a little bit of ice, but it kind of thawed out pretty fast when it changed over to rain. Now it's supposed to ice back up tonight. Maybe a little bit of dusting tomorrow. North of us is supposed to get probably worse than us, so we'll see. I'm right on that Columbus divider line, so who knows? This inside the 270 circle, you never know what you're going to get. So sometimes we get it and sometimes we don't. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, couple good videos tonight. We're doing the alien things, as you can see. Been trying to match the background to something we're going to do in the videos in the back and the replay. How are you, Mr. Roger? I hope you were good. Yeah, I know there's a lot of flooding down there in Kentucky and Tennessee. And some of the southern states too. So be careful. Yeah. You know, if you don't feel comfortable, turn back. Don't cross anything with water. Yeah, I heard a lot of roads were washed out. Yeah, I saw some of that. Yeah. So just be careful because we're on that rain and freezing rain line, but everybody south of us is getting a lot of rain, and it's going to happen again next week. So just be aware, be prepared, as they all say. So, and it's important to be that way because this weather's going to get crazy. We'll see what happens. We kind of missed out on the last one. I mean, I really thought we were going to get something. We really didn't, but I had a feeling we wouldn't. Most of it seems to go up and around us. So, or below us lately. But I think we'll get nailed next week. I guess we got one coming in either Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll see. Still early to predict. But yeah, we're going to do alien replays tonight. The first one is 3 Strange Encounters. Or let me do this too, because Gemma does have a Monday video coming out at 11 o'clock a.m. for her premiere. Let me get it up here. If I can. Poop. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, I can do it just like this. I wouldn't even be paying attention. And share and flip back over here and make me bigger and not smaller. But that's our video, Bigfoot encounters. So it'll be an interesting one. She doesn't do a whole lot of those. She kind of comes and goes with those, so it should be a good one. Like I said, 11. If you can't see it on the screen, we kind of made it small. Here, let me do it again. Let me make it big once. Here. If you can see that, 11 a.m. ET time, Monday morning. And then remember, too, she will be on Wayne and Michelle's show, Michigan Sightings and Paranormal Encounters, on the 23rd, during the evening, I think 8 or 9. So you might want to check. 1 second here. I'm really dry tonight. Let me read some. Parts of the mountains have been without power since. I know. My family's somewhere in there, and we can't get a hold of them. But they're like distant families. But I know the relatives are trying to reach out to them. So hopefully they're okay. They're pretty resilient people, so we'll hopefully get them taken care of. We won't get politics there, so. And this weather don't help anybody, so. And with the planets all on one side and kind of lined up, you'll see an active earthquake and possibly volcano activity. Watching Chris Hall. Yeah, Ryan Hall. Hey, Chris. Watching Ryan Hall. I just combined it all in one. Yeah, I watch him too. I also watch a couple other guys. I don't just watch one. I watch like 3 or 4 compare. Yeah, I know there's some crazy weather going on down there. So a lot of rain, a lot of flooding. So it's insane. How are you doing tonight, Chris? I hope you are well and having a decent week. I hope everybody had a good Valentine's that's listening in the background. Edna must be partying it up. She said the best Valentine's Day is the day after when everything's cheaper. So she might be having fun. And that's good. Now, forgive me, I am like really dry tonight, so I'm kind of hacky. Quit smoking, man. It's been actually I've been doing too bad, so just get a little antsy sometimes. Like Wednesday night, I think a little bit between the Tourette's and not having cancer stick. Kind of. I watch Max Velocity too. Yeah, I like Max. I do watch him too. Hold on. I hope this doesn't start because that may cut my night short. I'm still healing, and they are cleaning me out like you would not believe. So after my little visit, so yeah, this might be one of those nights. I missed enough as it is because of this crazy crap. So and other craziness. So I wanted to be here. So at least get a video in if at the tops, a replay in at least, maybe 2. This one is, let me see. The one I'm going to show tonight is 20 minutes. And then I think I'm going to show what she says is part 2. So I don't know how long that is. You guys are getting thunderstorms here? Now, we got thunder, but we didn't. Now, the other weeks when the storms come through, we did get thunder, a little bit of lightning, a little bit of flashing, but a lot of it was just thunder. But I bet you are down there. You guys are a little bit warmer than us up down there. So, boy, where are we at it? We're at 37, so it wouldn't surprise me if we hear some during this night. It's real foggy here, though. It's real misty. Ooh. Heavy rain. Oh, yeah. Here, it's like a fine drizzle, but let me make sure because when I was last outside, it was raining, but it wasn't raining like really hard. Let me look on the radar. Since I can do that, since we're just rambling, yeah, we're going to get heavier. Oh, yeah. In fact, it probably is raining probably pretty good out there right now because there's a heavy band going through right now. I see some of that in the west is starting to mix with a little bit of freezing rain and snow, just little spots in around Indianapolis. So we will see. Most of the snow above us is staying up and around Canada. So yeah, you guys are getting heavy rain. I think we are probably too now. So I'll have to go look when I get done tonight. Always do a walk of the house anyways and make sure all the doors are locked. So anybody got any plans for the week? Anything exciting for the week? Or anything exciting for Sunday? Sunday. And I want to say hi to everybody too. I didn't do that. Nightmare, hello. If you're in there hiding around, I know you're running around. And Jim and Chris, I guess that's pretty Roger. I guess that's pretty much it for right now. Like I said, we'll start the video here in a little bit. It might be kind of late. I know other people are streaming right now, so that I get it. And I'll start it here in a little bit. I may start a little early. I always try to take since I'm coming on early until I start feeling like 100% again. Yeah, my streams are going to be like my 9 o'clock will probably end or anywhere between 10 and 11. And these will end anywhere between 10 and, well, we start at 10, so anywhere between 11 and 12, depending on how we're doing and what's going on. But I'll try to go as long as I can. I mean, we have gone a couple times. I kind of want to get back to Saturday midnights, but everybody's advising just, early nights right now. So that's what I'm doing. I have a fun kitchen science video to do. Oh, fun. That's cool. I like those type of videos. Hold on one second again. It's like, shoot, I can only drink so much water to keep me from being so dry. I like that science video stuff. Everybody go see Mr. Behold. You know, he played in a band, Mike J. And he's got a video on his page, a couple of them where he's in his band doing a little Metallica. Doesn't sound bad. Plays pretty good. They look like they were having a pretty good time. You know, playing in a concert hall. Look like all the wives up in the front, girlfriends, as we said. That's where all the girlfriends hang out and wives. So. But they're all hanging out in front. Dang it, sorry. This is not going to be one of those nights. I am so sorry about the dead air, but when you're by yourself, hold on one second. Let me do this. I'll be. Again, sorry about that, but it keeps me from blowing my nose in you guys' ears. That helped a little bit. Now let me get rid of this. There we go. Anybody else do anything good? I got a good crew coming in. We will start the video here shortly because I know a lot of people like to come in and at least watch the replay. So I'm just making sure everything's set to go. I'm going to set her video up here in a minute. Now, I don't like to start too early because I like to let some people come in because they get mad to start the video without them. But I always give them time to get in here. So, and I know a lot of people had Valentine's. There's a lot of people streaming at this time. So I'm kind of hoping to get back to midnight. So if I can get myself back to where I was, we'll get back to midnights. I like them better anyways. And I'm going to cough again. I am so sorry about that, folks. That's not very professional, as Gemma would say. But that's probably why I'll start the videos a little early. So you don't have to hear me. That's what this Saturday's really all about. Is there a couple of bit. When I run out of stuff to do, then we're going to have to go back to chit chat on Saturday nights. I'll still do spooky time, where I'll try to keep it basically paranormal stuff on Wednesday night, and then I'll have Saturday nights when we kind of. I probably should take a break for a while too from the replays. That way, hey Edna, that way I don't run out of videos. I don't want to do new ones. And I've done quite a bit of what she's got in her library. It was kind of hard. I was going through them today, and I'm like, yeah, I've done that one. So, and when we're doing two a night, how you doing, Edna? How you feeling? I didn't think you'd be here since you said Valentine's Day after is the best day because everything's cheaper. I'd have been out having fun too. Even the drinks are cheaper sometimes. Yeah. So, I hope you are well. I have talked to Mark Halstead. He is okay. He's tired. He's been having a very busy week. Said Friday he just could not keep his head up. Bless his heart. Man, I can't wait here. See, that's the thing about a fresh haircut. You always want it to grow out a little bit more so it actually sits the way it should sit. But anyways, yeah, he's doing okay. From what I understand, I did talk to him. I told him we were all thinking of him. And I hope he's well. We hope he's well. But yeah, he said he went through a lot this week, so he just rested. I told him to take care of himself. Cold and rainy, we're going out tomorrow. Yeah. You know, it's supposed to be even insane. Well, it's supposed to go over you guys, so you should be good. You should be done by then. Then again, maybe not. I don't know. It's cold and rainy here. It's actually, Chris says it's coming down real good in Cincy. Here it's just a steady rain, but I mean it's a steady rain. But when I was out there just before stream, it was like a fine mist, so it just picked up again. Yeah, he is doing. It seems to be doing okay as he's doing. You know, he's been through a lot, so bless his heart. But I did check on him, let him know. You know, we saw his post, and we all missed him, and we were hoping he was doing good. But he's definitely sounded like he was resting. I mean, so yeah, and that's good. That's what you want to do. He's, you know, we all know what it's like to be sick, and he's going through a lot, so he needs all the rest he can get to keep himself strong. And I'm going to cough again. I am so dry, it sucks. It really does. It's like I told Dad today. He was dry today, too. So for some reason, this house is really dry. But who knows? Because it's so damp outside. You walk outside, you instantly hurt. So, but yeah, so hopefully we'll see him soon. Just keep him in your mind. Reach out to him on Facebook. Say hi once in a while. Make him feel good. That helps. Knows that it's people are thinking of him. And the same thing with everybody else in this room. We don't see people for a while. Check on them. You know, I always give everybody 2 weeks, then I start to worry. And if it's longer than that, I really start to worry. Some people I just don't know how to get a hold of. So it's like you just wait till they come back. Like Chili Charlie, you know, I thought about Chilling Charlie, and finally one day he just popped in. So, and some of these other people. It was good to see some people last night that hadn't been in here for a while, like Nick Y and the other couple other people that popped in. 1 second again. Yeah, they started me on a new med again today, and you know, to try to help me heal and get better. I'm not like a real big fan of medication anyway, but it dried me out. But at the same time, it's got me hacking and blowing my nose. It's like it's weird, but it seems to be getting rid of the crap, so I can't complain. Though I don't look very good doing it, especially in stream. So sorry about the unprofessional. We're gonna start the video here soon, anyways. Like I said, we're gonna go alien tonight. I didn't know if you saw my backdrop, Ed. Now here's my backdrop. There you go. Anyways, we're going to do aliens tonight. Let me set it up. Yeah. The doctor said it'd probably be the same for me. And Pop, he still has a sore throat. So, and I was supposed to get him in the other day, but yeah, they said he probably will be hacking stuff up for a while. Said, oh, I was really congested. I guess on all that fluid when I blew up was all that fluid. They still got me on stuff to help keep that down for a while, which makes it. I take it in the morning, and I swear the first part of the day I'm in basketball every 15 minutes. But it seems to be helping. So I just want to get better. I want my midnights back. I want to be able to do this midnight stream. Now, spooky time I'll probably keep at 9 because it's so hard during the week to stay up late and then get up because with me not sleeping, after that I can pace and goes in and out. Sometimes I sleep in the chair, the rocking chair out in the living room and pace around the house. So I can be a little more relaxed. Right now it's all about healing. Yeah, because I talked about doing a midnight stream. I was like, well, give it a little time, dude. Let yourself heal. Take, do your stream to about 11, 12. Chill out afterwards like you do and do your thing. Once you feel a little better, you can go back. So I said, okay, I promised them I'd wait. But Gemma does have that Monday premiere at 11. It'll be Bigfoot, so it'll be good. She said she really liked doing this one, but she's had some long ones, so bear with it. You're starting to wake up at 3 again. I always wake up between 2 and 3 for some reason. If I fall asleep for even an hour, I always seem to wake back up between 2 and 3. Always. Always. There's Mr. Halstead. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. We were just asking about you, talking about you, letting everybody know that I talked to you. Isn't it kind of late for you, Mr. Halstead? Shouldn't you be resting, young man? We want to send you a lot of love, bud. Yep, I told him we were just talking about it. He probably was listening. I'm glad you did, sir. I'm glad you did. A lot of people were worried about you. I hadn't seen you. Yes, get some rest, good sir. Like I said, rest and take care of yourself. I hate when and it always never fails. I mess with YouTube and it goes right back. Slept already. Hold on again. Yeesh. Well, that rest is important. So, and I know what it's like to sleep, then wake up and be awake. So then wake up in the middle of the night, like we were talking at 3 a.m. Now, Edna, when you wake up, do you usually go right back to sleep, or do you pace a little bit? Usually, that's not my case. I usually have to pace for a while. If I actually sleep during the night, a lot of times it's just intervals. Like I know, like when I'm done here, I'll pace around the house, and sometimes I'll go out and sit in a rocking chair and doze off for a while, and it might be 15, 20 minutes, and I'll wake up because I'm rocking too hard, or I've slid the rocking chair to the wall, and then I'll come in here, mess around, lay down. I'll usually wake up rocking really hard. Nope, I'm up. That's my dad. Once he's up, he's up. He can't go back. So you don't miss your. Oh, thanks for the waffles and bacon, sir. I'll slide me a little peanut butter on the side on that too. Waffle, bacon, and peanut butter. I'll read and get on it. Usually at night. Sometimes I get on YouTube, but I usually read. I try not to turn on this or the TV if possible. I usually just read because I don't want to get involved in something and then I don't want to go. But if I'm up, because I at least try to go back to sleep, because I sleep in intervals. Sometimes, now lately since I've been sick, I've been going to bed early, and I'm noticing I'll sleep maybe 2 hours. Those guys are saying, and I'm rocking pretty hard during those 2 hours, but they say I'm out. And then I'll wake up and pace. Thank you, Mark. And I'll pace for a while. So, yeah, well, when you're emotional all the time, you kind of do your own things. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm just glad you got a sense of humor and you're doing good. We think about you when you don't. But we all saw your post, so we have faith that you're doing good and being strong. Yeah, we're getting ready to do an alien video here. What time we got? Like I said, I may start it early just because I got the hacky hacks. And that way you guys don't have to sit here and watch me turn my mic off and on. And I'll do that one. And then she has like a part 2, but that's about hybrids. But I'll still show it. This one's 20 minutes. Let me get it set up. And we'll get this thing a-rocking. We're going to start a little early. That way I'm not hacking you guys' ears. And hopefully I'll be able to keep talking and chat. Hey, golly, Mr. Snyder, how are you? How you doing out there? My weekend's doing good. I hope yours is too. I am setting up this video. Give me 1 second. No. Be quiet. I always try to stop her, but I'm doing good. How are you, sir? First oral call. Yeah, you usually never miss a Mark, so that's why we were a little worried. That's good, man. That's good. I've been sleeping better, not walking in pain, grinding the sheet and pillowcase. It really works. Yeah, I bet it does. Weather good out there, Mr. Snyder? Hold on, let me get this set up. I like this. It's got a alien abduction Wikipedia thing at the bottom of this video. It always cracked me up. Let's see. Let me switch back. I hate this. Okay, present. Share screen. There we go. Sure. Get back in front again. When I do this, it flips my screen around. I got to go and hook my other screen back up to it. It makes it so much easier. Okay. Switch me down here. I will make her big again, so you don't have to look at all that extra crap. Give her a full picture. And I'm going to start it. Let me know about sound.
Welcome. My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be discussing 3 of the most bizarre alien abduction encounters, in my opinion, and this is a part 1 video. So, did you guys know that up until very recently, with the release of the official disclosures of UFOs into mainstream media, despite all of the evidence and witness testimony given throughout at least decades or perhaps even centuries, from extremely credible sources, UFOs were actually considered conspiracy theories. That's not what I'm here to talk to you about today, mind you, conspiracy theories, I mean, but I just find that so incredibly baffling. We have people who have dedicated their very lives to keeping this huge secret while working for all different kinds of government agencies and throughout as well, all different governments in all different countries. I still don't understand why the powers that be did this. Kept all of this interaction, contact, and visitation with all different races of aliens from their public. It makes me super suspicious and pretty much absolutely positive that there's so much more they're keeping from us that we may never know, at least not in my lifetime. For me, even though I talk about so many different things here on my channel, and despite all of our discussions about some pretty terrifying things, is what scares me the most, because I just can't understand why they would do this. I mean, what in the world could they be hiding? Aside from all of these expert and professional testimonies and eyewitness accounts, there's been one thing which, in my opinion, should have compelled the governments who were aware of these visitations to let their public know about what was going on. And that's all of the alien abductions that have been taking place, most likely throughout centuries and possibly since even the beginning of time. These abductions are not pleasant, and for me, this fact alone stands to reason that these governments have something huge to hide, letting its own people not only suffer and go through these things, but also, to add insult to injury, they basically call them crazy or conspiracy theorists and tell the whole world that they are liars and making these things up. How incredibly scary is that? Imagine being an abductee and hearing this. Being treated like this, it literally makes me sick. Now, I didn't want to get started on a political rant and start any kind of debate, and while you're certainly free to discuss what and how you like in the comment section, please keep in mind that those things are definitely not where I'm going with this. I want to dig deeper, as always, despite where it takes me, and I will. I want to investigate which species are now officially documented as having been here on Earth and try to find out what they want. Not only what the official reason they have allegedly come here is, but the real reason they're not only visiting Earth, but terrorizing and making victims out of us. What is it they want? I know, and you should too, if you watch my videos regularly, with absolute certainty, there is a hybrid program going on, and I've recently come to find out through my unending and constant research that as many as 10, and possibly more as I'm still searching for more answers, alien races that are participating in one kind of hybrid program or another. While it may take me a bit longer to bring you more information on that particular subject and the others I've just mentioned in this super long introduction, don't worry, I definitely will. I got your back. For now, however, I wanted to go through some abduction stories with you. I use the word stories very lightly, mind you, but honestly, it's for lack of a better word. I've poured through hundreds, possibly thousands of supposedly real abduction stories, and have found so many which I find very credible and which I believe in my heart and my sense are absolutely 100% real. Today, I have chosen to discuss some of the more bizarre cases, though. On this channel, we are fans of the mysterious, the bizarre, and even the macabre. So let me take you all on a journey through all of my research and information, and we can pick out these 3 abduction encounters and review them, see what makes them so special and so incredibly strange. If, that is, you can look past the fact that speaking of alien abductions and encounters as though they aren't the strangest thing about all of this. So many questions, and in this girl's opinion, and I'm sure hoping most, if not all of you will agree with me here, not nearly enough answers. I'm trying to make some sense out of it all, I promise. You all know I love to do series because I can never quite get enough information about anyone's subjects, and I'm always compelled to just keep searching despite being brought down many rabbit holes into so many dead-end roads. Well, with all of that finally being said, here it is. My top 3 most bizarre alien abduction encounters. Also, please keep in mind some of these are so strange I couldn't resist and yet couldn't find much information on, so I did my very best I could to get you all of the information I could possibly find, but some of these may be much shorter than the other ones. Thank you for your understanding and patience, as always. Number 1, Gustavo Gonzalez and Jose Ponce. In 1954, in Petare, Venezuela, and I could be saying that wrong, again, no offense, there were 2 men who were driving in a van to a pork wholesaler store late at night, and for whatever reason, the men were almost abducted by aliens that night, and who knows what would have happened to them had they not fought back. I haven't been able to find any more information about the aliens who allegedly went after them that night either, so who knows what they were up to. A lot of you Bigfoot fans are going to start saying that this is another reason we could all mark off as to why Bigfoot himself is an extraterrestrial, but I don't believe that at all. I believe he is an interdimensional being, but for some reason I was compelled to say this as I went through the information on this almost abduction. So anyways, it was later reported that the road suddenly became completely blocked by a glowing sphere. There was absolutely no way for the 2 men named Gustavo Gonzalez and Jose Ponce to get around the UFO, even if they had had the time to do so, which they had not. Immediately upon coming to a complete stop, and I'm sure wondering what the hell was going on, 3 short and very hairy aliens came out of the craft and started towards them. For some reason, this amazing and incredibly interesting case isn't very well documented and has kind of gotten lost to history and or lack of retelling, but here's what I know. So these 3 aliens who I can't help but thinking as those things from Star Wars, what are they called? Wookiee, Ewok? You guys know what I'm talking about. Come on. These things made some kind of abduction attempt on these 2 men. However, they got the wrong 2 men that night, and both Ponce and Gonzalez fought back with all of their might and all of their soul, with Gonzalez even pulling a pocket knife, allegedly his knife from his old days in the Boy Scouts of all things, and trying in vain to stab at least one of these things. The many stabs did not penetrate the alien's skin, though, as underneath the hair it appeared they had extremely rough, or as it was later described, rhinoceros-like skin. After some punching and kicking, knocking the aliens off one another's backs, etc., just like this crazy fight scene right in the middle of the road. Just think of it like a barroom brawl, but with some super short hairy guys and 2 grown and regular-sized men, one of which had a knife that wouldn't stab. Now, you may ask, due to my growing sarcasm while recounting this encounter, why I chose to put it on the list here. Well, this one is number 3, and believe it or not, I do believe this story happened. It's just also very comical when I play it out in my head, but make no mistake, I would never come out and say such a thing as an attempted alien abduction is funny. In fact, they're anything but. I know some of y'all are going to point out that they don't have the Boy Scouts in Venezuela, but I am just reporting the facts as I have read and believe them. Perhaps Gonzalez was in something similar to our Boy Scouts here in America, or perhaps even more likely, that bit got added in by some smartass who thought this was all some kind of joke or hoax. Either way, though, he really did pull out a pocket knife. Why did the aliens retreat, though? This is the most bizarre thing about this entire encounter to me. I mean, couldn't they just put the 2 to sleep telepathically, or however they do it? Couldn't they have put out that overwhelming sense of peace and safety most other aliens are known to be able to do very well, and also very often? I don't know, guys, and I'm still researching for what kind of alien race this could possibly have been. Many people have accused these 2 men of making the whole thing up just to get attention and possibly money, but that's what they always do, right? They always try and make the victim look crazy, because up until recently, this was all a big conspiracy theory. And that's what I was trying to say in the beginning. They have a lot of nerve. They have a lot of balls, right? I'm just not ready to discount this encounter so easily. Let me know what you all think in the comments below, as always. Number 2 is Whitley Strieber. On December 26, 1985, Whitley Strieber was just having some rest and relaxation time to himself in a cabin in the woods when he was allegedly abducted by aliens. Strieber was an accomplished and well-known writer and novelist, and many of his writings were actually adapted into movies. I mean, this guy was really good and really kind of famous. According to friends, you couldn't find a more logical person than Whitley. Lucky for us, he wrote all about the abduction in great detail. I'll go over the basics with you now. So he was with his wife and son in this cabin, and they were just kind of celebrating the Christmas holiday and having some family time. For some unknown reason, and this is a little weird, Whitley had recently become paranoid of intruders and had installed a very high-tech, at least for 1985, alarm system throughout his house and the cabin as well. At around 11 p.m. the day after Christmas, he activated the alarm system in his cabin, and he and his family went to bed for the night. He claims that next he was awakened by some strange and unknown sound. He had just a gut feeling that someone or something had breached his security measures somehow without setting off any of the alarms. Suddenly, he was fully awake and absolutely horrified to see a strange creature standing there in his room at the foot of his bed, the bed he was sharing with his wife. He blinked, and the next thing he could remember, he was sitting outside in the woods near his cabin. With his memories being sparse and fragmented, he was absolutely terrified and didn't know quite what to do. And more importantly, he just didn't know what in the world had happened to him. It seemed, at that moment at least, that it was just the blink of an eye and he was there in the woods outside. Whitley decided that he couldn't live without knowing what had happened to him that night, and he decided to undergo hypnotic regression. The things he recalled in those regression sessions were what we would consider quite typical nowadays, at least for the most part. As we all should know by now, or will know eventually should you stay and continue watching this channel, no abduction story is the same as any other. They're all the same and yet completely different and unique in their own way. He was floated out of bed and through the wall of his bedroom and directly into a waiting spacecraft. He saw 4 different types of aliens that night. The first was a very small being who Whitley likened to a robot. There was also a short, stocky type, and then the ever-present, thin, frail, and weak one of the bunch. This, to me, is most likely a description of the Greys as we know them, and in my alien hybrid video, I explained why they always look like this. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. I'll leave it in the description box. Now, there's so much information on this abduction, but because I'm doing a list here, in the interest of saving time, I'm just going to give you the basics and the facts. Whitley did write a book which turned into a movie about his ordeal. Oh, and if you want me to cover this story in more detail, as always, just drop me a line in the comments below or send me an email. Okay, back to Mr. Strieber. He says the sick and fragile-looking alien had slanted black eyes that were mesmerizing, and all he said about the 4th type of alien was that it, too, had dark black eyes, but that they were smaller and looked like little black buttons. These aliens ran numerous medical tests on him, including the very feared, terrifying, yet ever-present anal probe. They also inserted some sort of needle into his brain. When he was done recounting all of this, the hypnotherapist who was regressing him diagnosed him with temporal lobe epilepsy. They also took blood samples by making small incisions in his fingers as well. This temporal lobe epilepsy causes people to have hallucinations, and very vivid ones at that. This doctor was alluding to the fact that Whitley had only hallucinated these things in his head, and because he was so convinced in his head they had happened, he was able to recount them while under hypnotic regression, which, by the way, guys, that's not even possible. If you know anything about hypnotic regression, you can't remember fake memories. I mean, maybe you can remember implanted memories, but I don't even think that's possible. I'm going to have to do some more research on that. So anyway, Whitley vehemently refutes this diagnosis and is adamant that his encounter was very real. He went on to write a full book about this called Communion. Whitley Strieber is now one of the most prominent and vocal researchers into UFO and extraterrestrial phenomena, and mainly speaks and does most of his research on alien implants, abductions, and hybrid programs. Right up my alley, right? He warns of these things and has been telling people since his own experience about what's going on and how what had happened to him isn't an isolated event. I tend to agree with him there, and also I believe he is a credible witness and professional person, again, with much to lose by coming out with this, especially the graphic detail he put into his novel Communion about the whole shocking and terrifying experience. Was this just a ploy to sell more books, as some skeptics believe? I highly doubt it, as he was doing perfectly fine selling his books and novels and even having so many of them made into movies. He really didn't need this negative and like kind of horrific publicity, right? And that's just my opinion. Number 1 is Hillary Porter. Hillary Porter claims to have been abducted by aliens more times than she can count. She says the number could be as high as 100 times. She claims these extraterrestrial visits started when she was just 5 years old and have been a constant in her life ever since. Hillary says, quote, "I've been an alien abductee all my life. I didn't choose this life. I didn't ask for any of this, but it has been happening for as long as I can remember," end quote. Hillary comes off as credible to a lot of people, myself included, as she worked for the Ministry of Defense for a very long time. She is actually not the first woman I have found who has worked for some sort of military or government entity, especially in Britain, who has been abducted for most of their lives. I'm doing a full video on the many abductions and love affairs of Elizabeth Clarer in the coming weeks. Anyways, back to Mrs. Porter here. She says she knows what people say about her and that many, if not most people, don't even believe her, but she doesn't care one bit because just like many others who have been abducted multiple times or even just once, she knows what happened to her and she knows she isn't crazy. The first encounter she can remember was when she was just 5 years old and playing in some tall grass in a field near her family home. She says, quote, "Suddenly there was a reptilian alien in front of me. It has scaly skin, black holes on the nose, and a little mouth," end quote. She says, though this reptilian alien wasn't very tall, even to a 5-year-old, I guess, as it stood just about 5 feet, she claims it was extremely strong. It suddenly reached out and grabbed her by her arms, pulling and dragging her across the field toward a disc-shaped craft. It dragged her underneath the craft, and she says there was a lift there which opened, and she was put into it, and then she was aboard the ship. The next thing she remembers was being in a room with little beings running all around with lots of bright lights and consoles all around her. These reptilians were extremely rough with her. I feel almost sad as I have to keep reminding myself this was all happening to a very young and scared little girl. So she was stripped and tossed onto a sort of bed, and she says they took a sharp instrument and were, quote, "pressing it right the way up my body while I was screaming. I can't remember anything at all after that," end quote. Hillary claims, though, that she believes she was actually abducted many times before this one. She just has no memory of it. She recalls many times when she would keep on disappearing seemingly into thin air from her own backyard, which was secured, and her frantic and terrified mother would find her a half-mile away with no memory or explanation as to how she got there. A 2-year-old has very limited vocabulary and ability to express themselves. And this is why I say all the time that very young children, toddlers especially, are prone to these abductions because they are truly helpless. It makes me literally sick because I can't help but think of my own toddler son. Okay, so she also says she was abducted near Cardiff, Wales in the early 1970s. She says she was also abducted by a hexagonal-looking spacecraft while, quote, "hanging out bunting," end quote. What does that mean? At a local charity event? She was hanging out bunting at a local charity event. If you guys know what that means, let me know because I have no idea. She claims there was a top secret research plant inside a macaroni factory, which an alien broke into in 1974, and she worked there at the time. When she went to work the next day, sections of the building were inaccessible and cordoned off, and a security guard who had, quote, "seen too much," end quote, and was also aware of the alien break-in, was taken away for, quote, "mental health issues," end quote, but was never seen again. There are many things that go along with each abduction in Hillary's case. This is also quite common in a lot of people who are lifelong abductees. Extreme migraines, feeling extremely sick, sicker than you've ever been in your entire life, waking up with fresh scars and or bruises and or bloody marks or stains on your pajamas and or bed sheets. These are just some of the common threads for each experiencer and what they also have to go through afterwards, as if the trauma of an abduction isn't enough. If you want more on Hillary, please let me know, and I could possibly add her encounters and the full story of her lifetime of abductions to the full video I'm doing on Elizabeth Clarer, both of whom have had far too many encounters to cover right here in a list video, and Miss Clarer fell in love with and had a child with one of her alien abductors, so that's why I saved that one for a full video. Guys, I hope you liked this short little video. If you did like it, let me know, and I'll do a longer one, and I'll do like a 5 most bizarre alien abduction list or something. This is kind of just a test to see if you all are going to go for this. I really hope you guys are into it because that Elizabeth Clarer script is going great. That is the most bizarre and craziest story I've ever heard, forgetting about the UFO abduction, right? Please be sure and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed spending this time with me, like I always enjoy spending it with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure your notification bell is on so you can be notified every time I post. Most of my videos are longer than this. This was kind of, as I said, a little teaser for what's to come. Please do me the favor of checking out the description box for some important links. Justice for Caleb Smith,
Evil Graham, you only showed up in my StreamYard, so if you're still watching, your comment did for some reason, I think it's because you use certain words. Their YouTube is getting ridiculous. So there you are. I'm feeling pretty good, bud. Thank you for asking. How are you? But yeah, your first comment didn't show up in chat if you noticed. So yeah. Yeah, I know. I think most people know they're still going down in some places. I watch one every day, every night about 9 o'clock, and then it comes back through about 3 o'clock. And it runs the same pattern. And we're pretty sure that it's a drone. Anyways, I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm healing. I had to start a little early for a while, but hopefully I can get back to my regular time on Saturdays. But I am good. I hope you are well too. I should look up the property and the history. Yeah, I would like to know, Edna. Not just it burnt to the ground. The children passed, and the family sold moved. I'm sure. I just want to know what started the fire. Was it during the war? Was the war that caused the fire? I'm just curious. That's good. I'm okay. My cat passed. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. But it's all good. Death is part of it. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it is. But I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, now you got me curious. I love stuff like that, Edna, and I love digging up dirt like that. I want to know what caused the fire. Why did the children pass? And usually when children pass, it's hard on a family and a husband and wife. It's really tests your strength, let's just say. I've seen it close hand, and it does. Lucky these two folks are still together, and they survived it. But I know folks that lost a child, and they both just kind of fell apart in their own little worlds and went their own little way. Oh, I'm sure. They're all over the place. You just got to pay attention for them now. They just ain't talking about them now. That's all. That's all. Let me get this next video ready to go. And we'll get this moving along. Hopefully I can find it. Every time I do this, it screws me up. And where are you, part 2? I just had you tagged. And then I get off that video, and it never fails, my tag disappears. Come on. I had him scroll all this stuff. I did have them separated, but it never works out. I always end up losing one of them. So let me do this. I'm going to have to hook it back up to my other screen so I can do this without being a hassle. I'm trying to talk while I do this, which is hard because I don't want to cough in you guys' face. Where are you? Have a good night, Mark. It was so good to see you. I'm glad you just kind of hang out and chilled a little bit. Get some rest. Much love, sir. Much respect. I'll fly over later. If you need a little heat on the house, just yell. Take care of yourself, sir. And we hope to see you Friday or any other time we're around. We miss folks when we're not around. Come on. I think I passed it. No, I don't think I did yet. Wait, come on. Did I go too far? I must have. No, wait. There's the first one. Okay, I did go too far. Like a doofus. This one's about, I think, if I can find it, because I had it tagged, and once again, as soon as I click off the one, it disappears. Here we go. Okay. Part two's about alien hybrids. So, and then she did one on reptilians, but I can't find the first one. So, we love you, Mark. Just stay healthy and get plenty of rest, sir. We do think of you. Let me get this set up. Stop. Okay. Just switching back and forth is nuts. Till you get yourself going. I'm going to have to set up the other stream. That's all. Okay, Sharon. Now I got to flip back over again. That's good. We're all good. Cool breeze. Back. What happened? Okay, make her big. Make her famous. Let me know. Like I said, like I always say, make sure you guys let me know if the sound's off or something, okay? If anything goes wrong. I am paying attention now. Okay, I think we're good to go.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, just
sorry about
welcome.
that.
My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be once again discussing the alien hybrids. For as far back as I can remember, I have been absolutely terrified of anything having to do with outer space, aliens. It was completely irrational and totally unexplainable, or so I thought. Recently, I've been uncovering some repressed memories of experiences and conversations that I've had with actual extraterrestrials. No abduction memories uncovered yet, but lots of healings and also some strange dreams of being aboard several different crafts. I did an exclusive interview with our friend Dylan from Creepy Unsolved Mysteries when I first started remembering these things. Mainly, they come in my dreams, my memories. I have promised exclusive access to what I've uncovered since speaking with Dylan and Sabrina to Spaced Out Radio for the New Year's Eve show, but more on that later on. Also, I have a book coming out next year of my personal experiences all throughout my life that I've had with many different supernatural and paranormal, and now I guess extraterrestrial entities. So I don't want to spoil that fun either by giving it all away right here. I often wonder if agreeing to do that book is what made all of these memories suddenly become available to me. I'm not sure, and maybe I'll never know, but I think there's actually a chance I might find out. I have a feeling I'm about to be made some kind of messenger of sorts, but anyways, guys, moving on. Sorry. I did a video a while back on the alien hybrid program, and as terrified as I was of extraterrestrials, and besides the fact I avoided anything having to do with them and or outer space like the plague, somehow this particular subject was always the exception for me. The hybrids, always interested in that and that alone. Ever since I came across it like 10 years ago, it's become somewhat of an obsession, like the BEK. It's so awesome and amazing that now, because I work with such amazing people, not to mention how like-minded they all are, and because of you guys being so like-minded and understanding, I can freely speak about topics like this and have people who actually will take me seriously. I can now have intelligence conversations about all of the things that have been fascinating me throughout my strange and mostly paranormal life. I wanted to go deeper into the types of hybrids there are and what the purpose is, like what each race is making or needing hybrids for. There's just so much I want to cover in the series, and that's why it's taken me so long to make a part 2. Thanks for bearing with me, and here it is, facts and information about the alien hybrid program. Please be advised that while I encourage skeptics to check out my videos and information, I always say if you still remain very skeptical after hearing what I have to say, that's cool with me, as long as you kept an open mind and had some fun while you were here. I'll be speaking in terms of this as it's all actually happening and factual, because I believe with everything that I am and every part of me in what I'm about to report to you guys. There seems to be some recurring themes when it comes to being visited by the alien hybrids. Females are far more likely to have interactions with them than males, and that's by like a really large margin. Women seem to be abducted at such a higher percentage as well, at least when it comes to the hybrid abduction. I have my own theory on this, and that's that women are able to be impregnated far easier than the men are able to donate what they need to donate. Like, it's easier for the extraterrestrials to impregnate a woman than to take what they need from a man and insert it into a female alien. I believe the birth and mortality rate of the hybrid babies, as far as carrying to full term, is far more successful when it's the human woman carrying the hybrid child. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head, but I'm not sure I explained it right. Under hypnotic regression, numerous women have reportedly been taken on board a UFO or, on more than a few occasions, to an underground installation where they were introduced to these hybrids. Of course, the underground component, little people issue adds to the centuries-old fairy encounters and the changeling phenomena that has its undeniable parallels to today's UFO scene and abductions. Fairy abductions, UFO abductions. If you remember in my book or in Missing in the Fae, I think it was part 1 or part 2 on Missing Persons and Mysteries, I talked about the woman who was abducted and brought to the castle in the sky by these strange beings. Now, I do think she was abducted by fairies, but is there a correlation between the Fae and the UFOs? I don't know. I am researching it though. I mean, if you're someone who knows anything about me at all, and especially if you've been with me for a while, and also, like I said, if you've read my book, you'll understand why this particular fact is extremely intriguing to me. The parallels, like I said, between the Fae and the UFOs are definitely there. Do I believe in coincidence? No, absolutely not. But I do believe that these supernatural beings both work in the same way, but one probably has nothing to do with the other. In these situations, the woman will either be laying on something akin to an operating room table or sitting in a chair that resembles a dentist chair. So lounge back, trying to, I guess, make her relax. They might not know what relax means because they don't really have emotions as far as what I've uncovered. This is where the terror starts, though. They're far from relaxing. It's also, in my opinion, one of the most fascinating parts of the whole hybrid ordeal. This happens to men as well, but because the percentage is so much higher of it happening to women, almost astronomically so, I'm focusing right now on the hypnotic regressions and experience told by the women for now. So the woman who's supposed to be relaxed, but is actually terrified, laying in this dentist chair or on this operating room table, she's sitting or lying there. She's approached by a group of small gray aliens. Now, there are the tall grays and the small grays, remember, okay? And they both are responsible for the majority of abductions. I don't pretend to know everything there is to know about aliens. Like I said, I just started the research, but it's coming, guys, because I am fascinated. And you guys know me. Once I get a bone, I'm gone with it. So anyways, she's approached by a group of the small grays, and I'm sure I don't have to explain what they are at this point, but most likely will either in this video or another part of this series. So the grays approach her, and one of them will be holding a tiny little baby in their hands. It'll be immediately clear and obvious to the woman that this infant isn't entirely human. It'll have some human traits and characteristics, though. These vary by the child, just as humans all look different and have some genes that come through stronger from the mother and some that come through stronger from the father. So it's kind of like that. Each baby will be different depending upon its genetics. The grays will then encourage the female to take the baby and cradle it. Almost exactly like when you give birth nowadays and the doctor or nurses in the room place the child immediately on the mother's bare skin, if possible. She will then be encouraged by these grays to bond with this little hybrid baby. Research of the phenomenon has suggested, probably correctly, that this procedure is undertaken to try and instill an emotional bond between the abductee and the hybrid baby. While this may all sound very peaceful and calm, most of the time it's the exact opposite. There's a trauma we haven't discussed yet, and it may be triggering for some of you guys. A trauma, aside from the fact that this woman is an abductee of extraterrestrials and aboard a UFO while all of this is happening or underground. I don't think I'd really freak out so much about the baby as I would about all of the other things going on at the same time. I mean, it's a baby. However, then I researched further, as I do, and found out that a large majority of these female abductees were pregnant with human babies months earlier and had sudden and unexplained miscarriages. I don't even know if I could say that. Had sudden and unexplained loss of baby. So these women were preparing to have a baby and start their families or add to them, and all of a sudden, and usually with no scientific or medical reason, they lose the baby. Now, less than a year later, they're going through this harrowing ordeal of abduction and being encouraged to bond with an alien baby, a baby that most likely reminds them of what they lost. It reminds them of what was probably the most sad, tragic, and traumatic moment of their lives. There's been so many reports of women who say they were abducted as part of these hybrid programs who have had medically diagnosed miscarriages. Or was it just a presumption that they were miscarriages? So the presumption of miscarriage, just stay with me here. What if the baby was taken by the aliens with, or most likely without, the mother's knowledge and moved to some sort of artificial womb aboard a craft somewhere, maybe where the father or other alien parent is? They did all miscarry at around the same time too. Most of these women report that when they did finally hold the little hybrid baby, they just somehow knew Like they knew with everything they were, their heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit, that this was the baby they were already carrying and thought they had lost. In this scenario, abduction researchers suggest the abductees are impregnated during an earlier abduction. Then they carry the fetus for a number of months, and then it's removed from the mother during a later abduction and essentially grown in what we might as humans consider an artificial womb. I understand that this is a scenario that some may say is outrageous or impossible or downright silly. And while it is an insane thought, to be sure, it's not a possibility that can be dismissed. The reason why is as amazing as it is controversial. We, the human race, are now working hard and fast to develop artificial wombs. The process of growing a fetus and bringing it to full term in an artificial womb is called ectogenesis. Much of the research is still at a theoretical stage, predominantly because of restrictions and regulations that govern the ethical or unethical use of human embryos and experimentation. But not all of it is. I can give you at least 2 examples that I found, but that would be going a bit beyond what I'm trying to present to you here. But probably in a future video down the line in this series, I will talk to you guys more about this. The one thing that I can see as being a potential disadvantage, and this could just be the fact that I'm a mother of 5, is that the moment most women find out they're pregnant, they quickly start developing a bond with the embryo, with their baby. Immediately it becomes their child. And I think that artificial wombs are pretty emotionless, but as with everything else, I do believe if we keep an open mind and get all the facts and information, we can understand why in some cases they may be necessary. Again, though, that's all for another time. And as usual, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just so excited about this research. Let's get back to the hybrids. There is a way we can discuss this artificial womb and keep focused on what we are here to discuss today if you watched the last video I did on the subject. And remember how I said that I believe very much in the information I came across that said the alien grays, who are not the only ones involved in this hybrid program, but seem to be the most prominent, both the short and talls, started off just like us on a planet just like ours. They got so into technology and so reliant and dependent on it that they lost all of their emotions. Think of this in line with the fact that a baby made in an artificial womb won't have that bond with the mother or even the father, and it could all be very emotionless. The Greys were forced underground because they destroyed their planet and lived underground for centuries or millennia, or for who knows how long. They became this gray, bug-eyed things we know them to be today. They need us in order to save themselves. If you want the full theory, check out my other video if you haven't already. I'll try to put it somewhere in this video. I have a hard time going back and doing that, but just look for it or just go under, my video list to find it. So I was asking myself, is this how it all starts? Lab babies and artificial wombs? Is this the reason why the Greys abduct the mother and kind of force her to try bonding with this infant? Because they themselves have no idea how to bond or love anymore. So the females aboard the ship or in the underground layer or wherever are not capable of doing the job that a female human could do. So when it comes to the hybrids, they aren't fully human, they aren't fully alien. And another thing I talk about in my book when speaking on the elves who need human DNA every few hundred years or so, it's even alleged that the gray aliens started abducting people and experimenting with DNA back in biblical times or earlier. That's why they're so very advanced right now, in my opinion. That's a really long time ago. There's another theory other than the one I just talked to you about, with them needing to replenish their gene pool either after years of cloning or after becoming too dependent on tech and losing their ability to reproduce on their own. And it's very cynical. It states that they started to place the alien hybrids in Earth's society to help them overthrow the government and take over from the inside rather than a full-fledged outside attack, which would surely start a war. Some even speculate that many of the alien hybrids on Earth don't know that they are a mixed nature and are like terrorist cells that can and will be activated when the time is right for the master alien races, which are the short and tall Greys, mainly the talls, and the reptilians, who absolutely terrify me. Terrified. The main problem I see with this theory is that many people who have been abducted as part of this program know. And there are more people than I can count who have come forward and said that they know they're hybrid. Most of them think it's a blessing and wouldn't change it for anything. This is fact. Whether you believe these people is up to you. And again, there are stories in the other video of some women who came forward. So they do exist and they do know about it. Though I do digress. Probably not all of them know what they are. Also, I want to make it known again that there are more races than just the Greys who are involved in these hybrid programs. But it looks like I won't have enough time right now to talk about
all of them here. I'll make a note for myself and be sure and bring you another video on this subject very soon and go through all of the species and different kinds of hybrids that there are and maybe even why. It seems like the hybrids don't only look different based on how their DNA was mixed by the Greys, but also if we are going by the second and more terrifying theory as to why these programs are in place, also, their looks vary depending on what they're going to be used for. The hybrids with the lowest intelligence, but who are the largest in size, are said to be being bred to be slaves. Other alien hybrids are much smarter and their DNA is almost identical to the Greys. They live among them, but they're considered a lower class and they're used to help mix up the DNA, as well do menial tasks such as navigate, tend to food and prisoners, as well as do other more important tasks that the true Greys do as well, but they're treated like second-class citizens, so to speak. The ones here on Earth are everywhere, and it can be almost impossible in most cases to be able to tell what they really are without DNA testing, specifically looking for some kind of hybrid gene. Scientists by now know what to look for, and I didn't really spend much time looking up exactly what they'd be looking for yet, because again, this is going to be a multiple-part series. Allegedly, according to these people who think the agenda is much more nefarious than I and many others do, they may be presidents, teachers, kings, the working class, or really anyone in power or not. They've been said to be put here for numerous reasons, from research on humans and other life on Earth to control and the slow takeover of the planet. Some of the humanoid mixed breeds don't even know that they are mixed alien breed and are being controlled without their knowledge. You can think of them as terrorist cells that will be activated when the time is right for invasion, the New World Order, and the takeover of Earth and all its people. I have to stop and point out here that I don't necessarily agree with all of this, but I wanted to present something other than just what I believe in the interest of giving you guys as much information as possible in the time that I've allowed myself here. Of course, I know that there's always some rogues who want to do harm and who don't want to follow the protocol and rules. I mean, that can happen in any race or species of anything. For the most part, though, I tend to believe in the first theory I presented in the first video. They're desperate to save their own race. I also believe they made an agreement with the government back in, was it Eisenhower? I'm going to have to look that up because I want to tell that story too, that they can abduct a certain amount of people in exchange for technology. Most of the hybrids that are here on Earth that do know what they are mostly healers of some sort. They learn throughout their lives what they're capable of and that it's much different and much more elevated than pretty much everyone around them. This makes them lonely and start longing for somewhere other. Could it be that they have a yearning in their very soul for their other parent? It definitely could mean that very thing. I'm starting to wonder lately why I was chosen to have had all of the supernatural and paranormal, and now I'm coming to find extraterrestrial experiences I've had to live with for as long as I can remember. Like, why me? But would I trade it for anything? Hell no. Do I think I'm a hybrid of some kind? I'm not sure yet. This brings me to the last thing I want to discuss with you guys here today, and that's those of you wondering if you could possibly be a hybrid. Keep in mind, like I've said multiple times already, that I'll be covering the other species of aliens who participate in the hybrid program, but we focus mainly on the Greys. I want to say that it's actually alleged that 10% of the population or more are hybrids of some kind. I've met at least 5 since I started researching this, and considering I never leave my house, that's pretty amazing. It's some of you guys, I'm just saying. So it's said that wherever a large crowd is, there will surely be a hybrid human present. There are so many qualities that identify a person as a hybrid. Keep in mind that just because someone has these qualities also doesn't necessarily mean that they are hybrids. It's all so confusing, and I think that that's exactly what the aliens depend on. Let's just go over a few of some of the many things that would qualify a person as a hybrid. The first is extreme and deep loneliness. Hybrids are often lonely and find it difficult to relate to normal humans. They might want to have a relationship with different kinds of people, not the typical superficial people, but more like themselves. So indigo children, crystal children, rainbow children, spiritual people, etc. Earth angels, starseeds. Since they are not completely human, whether they know it or not, and that's the key here though, isn't it? They are usually plagued with a chronic disease called sinusitis. This is characterized by the sinus of the nose getting inflamed and causing a severe headache for the patient. This is another way of identifying a person as a hybrid. Hybrids will always have strange dreams. They often dream of places where they're flying, and such dreams almost always prove to them that they have extraterrestrial dreams, or at least makes them start wondering and searching. They may also have dreams of being aboard ships and or interacting with a mother figure of an alien race. The hybrid will accept this as a part of their life irrefutably. These dreams come often. During the dreams, the hybrid feels happy, content, satisfied, etc., since they are achieving their purpose on Earth, i.e., to realize their past in origin to self-realize in the future. Although, to be fair, they have many different purposes here, again, depending on what their breed is. This next one really took me by surprise because now I had every single one of these things. This is the first time I've seen this, but I've seen it in enough places that I'm very comfortable reporting it to you guys. It's been discovered that most hybrids don't have a lot or have super thin hair. They have sparse, thin, and usually black hair on their heads, but the other parts of their bodies usually have no hair. Some hybrids even resort to wearing hats or wigs so as not to stand out so much. But much of the time, it's something subtle that only the hybrid will notice about themselves, and it most likely will make them even more self-conscious than they already are. This can make them feel less human and more uncomfortable. A lot of them decide to just embrace the use of wigs in order to have a more normal looking appearance. Hybrids have larger than normal eyeballs. It's said that the ones who come out looking more like the aliens, mainly in the eyes, are kept aboard the ships and raised by the other alien parent, who in most cases is the father or the male. However, the ones who are here on Earth still may have these very large eyeballs. Not to the point of looking alien, though. It's not just the eyeballs themselves, though. There's also a sense of knowing in the eyes. It's been said by people who have interacted with hybrids and later told their story, reported that it seems as though the hybrid person was looking right into their very soul. Most likely, the hybrid was doing just that, probably unintentionally. Trust me, I know all about accidentally doing something similar if I'm not careful. Anyways, they are also said to experience lower body temperatures than normal humans. They get cold easily and always have a desire for heat. They are termed as cold-blooded because their genes always pull their body temperature down. The cranium of hybrid children is a little bigger than that of normal humans. In ancient times, some people, such as the Egyptians, tried to elongate their craniums or skulls for certain purposes, but for hybrid children, it's simply naturally larger. Research has shown that children born with large heads most of the time end up becoming more intelligent and more successful than normal head-shaped human beings. Hybrids can get things done through the power of their minds by concentrating on a particular thing for a very long period of time. They can use the power of simply focusing on something to achieve what might seem impossible for normal humans, and that's moving it, smashing it, throwing it, tossing it, flinging it. Many people who are just normal may feel like someone who is a hybrid is a bit standoffish. Most of the time the hybrids are, but it's only because they don't feel comfortable interacting with normal humans. It's the alien DNA in them that makes them this way naturally, and it isn't meant as any kind of snub towards anyone. They often get a bad rap for being stuck up or snotty, but that's not the case. They're simply awkward and uncomfortable in their human skin. Most people who can be described as hermits on whatever the scale they may be on are probably some kind of hybrid. It's just that they have a deep yearning to go back to where they belong. They might not be able to explain this feeling or tell where exactly they belong, but they have the feeling deep inside of them. This is because they do not perfectly fit on this planet. Humans were designed by nature for the Earth. Hence, it will take them huge efforts to fit in, but the feeling of going home will always remain within them. Hybrids have telepathic skills. They don't really need to communicate with you to know your thoughts and feelings. They could read your emotions and energy and sometimes even your mind and know what you're going to say or do, possibly even before you know. Just so you guys know, every human being can develop such skills, but theirs is inborn. They could use it to their advantage in so many ways. Imagine a hybrid human present undergoing an interview conducted by a normal human. The result of the test would be known to them before the interview ends. This is because they could read the interviewer's mind. Most hybrid humans are sensitive to electromagnetic or electric fields. When they get into such a field, they become uncomfortable and can't think straight anymore. Their thinking processes get disrupted due to their high sensitivity. There are so many ways to tell if someone is a hybrid if you really wanted to, and I've been thinking lately that maybe this is where my gifts come from. I just don't know. I need someone who will give me a past life regression, and I can't seem to find anyone who doesn't charge a fantastical amount of money, which I do not have. Guys, that's all I have for you today. What do you think? Do you think you're a hybrid? Do you even believe in any of this? Let me know in the comments below, please. Please be sure and like this video if you enjoyed the topic, if you liked hanging out with me just to make me happy and smile. Spread the love by sharing this video. Guys, please share it. I put it on Facebook and I never get any shares. I would really appreciate it. It only takes one click. Subscribe if you aren't already. And if you are subscribed, make sure your notification bell is on. Please check out the description box where you will find a link to my Wednesday night live stream, free oracle readings. First come, first serve for anyone who comes in the chat. I talk to you guys and I pull one card from an oracle deck that the universe
Okay, give me 1 second to clear myself out again so I can talk for just a little bit. And I'll probably shut this down about 11:30 if that's all right with you folks. I'm just having a hard time here. 1 second. Let me make sure. I'm so sorry about that, folks. Okay, it's not very professional, but what I do when I'm by myself, so it's okay. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Edna. Yeah, it's hard to do stuff like that when you're by yourself. You know, she doesn't like dead air, but when you're by yourself, you're gonna have dead air at times. But yeah, I'll probably stop about 11:30. I'm so dry and I can't stop coughing, which is a good thing because they gave me medicine to clear me out, and that's what it's doing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this alien thing, this hybrid theory and all this stuff, I never knew what to make of it because I don't look at aliens. You know, there's a group, you know, I know I'm not the only one that don't look at aliens as aliens from outer space. You know, I think they are part of the Watchers and the fallen angels. But, you know, they messed with a lot of things. It doesn't mean they're still not doing it. So, aliens are fallen angels. I think, my opinion is a lot of people think that there's good aliens. You know, maybe. But I don't know. Spit it out, guys, and put some Vicks on. Yeah, I have been spitting it out. That's why I keep shutting the mic off because I can't do, you know. But yeah, I can't put Vicks on. No, they said no Vicks. I mean, the medicine they gave me is doing the job. When I get off here, I guarantee you I'll hack for 20 minutes and it'll all come up. Actually, the other day, it actually got so bad it made me sick. After I got it out of me, I felt great the rest of the day, the rest of the night. But yeah, I mean, I really messed myself up. Well, that's the thing about with my issues. It's hard to tell sometimes when I'm sick. And if it wasn't for me blowing up like a balloon, I just kept going. So I'm glad I think that was the good Lord's way of saying, smack, Steve, look at yourself. You got to go to doctors. So. A lot of people think they are the fallen angels. You'd be surprised how many people do. Now, I'm not saying that all the aliens are bad, but see, a lot of people forget that the Nephilim were bound to the earth. Anything the fallen angels and the Watchers created was bound to earth. So when he flooded the earth, those that passed on are now your demons and all that bad ghosts and stuff. But the ones that got away and the fallen angels, they weren't bound to the earth. Some stayed and hid out, and others went into another dimension, another time. You got to remember, there's various layers of multiverses and dimensions. If you'd listen to me for once, go. Well, you know, I do listen, Anna. But like I said, sometimes what may come off as other people, me being sick, I'm not sick. But yeah, this time, I think a lot of people were right when they were yelling at me Thursday and Friday of that week, because I went to the hospital that Tuesday, that I probably should go see a doctor. But I wasn't swollen up then, man. But that Tuesday morning, well, actually Monday, is probably when I should have gone. But I figured it'd all go away. But it didn't. My own fault. But it wasn't as bad as, well, after seeing the doctors the last couple of times, it's not as bad as I thought it was. But yeah, I'm going to have some healing to do. That's why I'm doing these at 10 o'clock right now, because I promised them no midnight streams and stuff like that. You saw it happening to you. You saw it happening and you didn't listen. You're not the only one I didn't listen to, Edna. But yeah, I'm glad they got taken care of. Yeah, I'm going to have to heal for a while, but Yeah, some of it. A lot of it was it wasn't the kidneys as much as it was just my body retaining fluid. It was congestion, and the kidneys don't just fail. They told me they weren't even worried about my kidneys. They were more worried about if I'd gone another day or even longer, I probably would have stroked out. That's how big I was. But I'll tell you what, when they got rid of that fluid, man, I had never gone to the bathroom so much in my life. And I'm still going. Oh, it was my ankles that I first noticed. But see, here's the thing. I've broken both of my ankles at one time. And they swell up every so often anyway. So it's hard to tell. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. There was something else going on. I'm not going to go into details because I'm really trying to keep some of my life private. But I got sick. Oh, dang it. I got pretty sick. And I noticed when I talk, I've been talking all day too. I've been on the phone. I've been doing this and that. Worse than yesterday. And I've talked a lot the last 24 hours. I noticed I get like this. Yep, a lot of that. 1 second again. Dang it. Forgive me, folks. I am so sorry. I may have to call it soon anyways. But yeah. I've been talking all day. I talked a lot the last 24 hours. And bad enough I had problems talking in the first place. This is just too rough. And talking makes you cough more. Yes, that's why I'm trying to keep fluids in. I've been drinking a ton of water and then wow. But yeah. Evil, I appreciate the suggestion, but yes, I'm very aware. I take a lot of stuff. I'm very careful what I take. You know, everybody's different. I have my issues. I do take vitamins. I take special ones. Well, I take certain ones. But it's more than just vitamins. You got to take care of yourself. And like I told one of my kids the other day, I've been so busy the past 2 years, especially the past year. Even though I take time for myself, apparently I didn't take enough time for myself to really heal from other things. So yeah, I kind of deserve this because I'm always go, go, go. People don't understand. Maybe other people like me might understand what it's like to live in motion 24/7, even when you're sleeping. So that's all I can go. I don't want to go any further than that. Let's kind of change the subject. And yes, Edna, you were right. I should have heard you along with 5 other people. Oh, dang it. Now it's just dryness. Like this medicine they give me, it brings everything up. My nose is running. And of course, I took this at 5 o'clock. So I shouldn't be like this. But man, it is like all of a sudden kicked in full gear. Of course, when I have to stream, then you can't look professional. Yeah, it took me a while. After the last one, Edna, it took me a while too. A lot more than I will tell people. I agree. Hey, you're all good, Evil. All good, bud. All good. It's all good. I appreciate it. It's just I basically live with doctors. You know, I see them. I've probably seen a doctor twice a month, at least. So I'm lucky if I go 2 or 3 months without seeing a doctor. That's amazing for me. So between the neurological stuff and everything else. Yeah, and it always gets worse at night. That is for sure. So that's the problem. Dad's sore throat bothers him. But when the night comes in, yeah, it's just a pain in the butt. Thank you, Evil. I appreciate it, man. I do. But this weather don't help either. This weather's crazy. I looked outside. I haven't had a chance to look outside, but for a while there, I could hear it. I know you're like us, Edna. See too many of them. Hopefully, once I get past this, see, everything's good. And then I want to change off the health stuff because I don't want to end the stream like that. Everybody says, my heart's good and everything. It's just this crap that we caught. And a while back ago, I will tell you this. I was exposed to black mold for 2.5 years, and it did some damage. And this didn't help. And I was still kind of weaning from that one because it did a little lung damage. But anyways, back onto the fun stuff. Yeah, this weather's nuts. Yeah, the plants are going nuts. Thank God I don't have anything out that can be ruined. Everything I have that's in the ground right now, it's all strong enough to make it through whatever we have left. Now, we are talking about starting a garden this year. I'm going to put an off-the-ground garden. I may actually build a greenhouse because I have enough room in the backyard to build a small greenhouse. Build a greenhouse and grow some food. And we actually talked about getting a couple chickens. So, because I don't know where egg prices are everywhere here. Right now, we seem to be pretty good. Now, I went to Aldi's. I think I paid $6 for eggs. But I know some places just around me is like $9-10. That's insane. That's stupid. Well, it doesn't help because what they're doing with chickens. But excuse me, folks. I am so sorry. I'll probably call this about 11:30 because I don't want to keep doing this to you, folks. Let me blow my nose. Yeah, nothing like those emotional support chickens. Dang it. And like I said, I was doing so good till I started streaming. And that just upsets me. When you go to hotel, come to the Pine Barrens. Yeah, Gemma wants to do that. Get us all together and go to the Pine Barrens. You should not do hotel. Is that what you're saying? But first of all, I won't room with anybody. She talked about us all sharing a place. I'll probably get my own place. I'm too spasmodic. I would freak people out at night roaming around, rocking. Nah, I think I'll pass on that. I'll go sleep in my car in a tent by myself. Yeah, that is true, Edna. It did the same thing to me. Yeah, it does. But I have talked a lot for the last 24 hours. Been on phones, talking to doctors, trying to take care of Pop. But what time we got? We got 11:30. Yeah, it's 11:29. I'm going to call it. I hate to do this, but I don't want to sit here and keep coughing in front of you guys. And I appreciate y'all hanging out. I will be here Wednesday at 9. Hopefully not like this. Because I feel bad. I just keep. Yeah, you had that, but we tested negative for that. So, came say goodbye. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday. And if you're not feeling good, get some rest because I'm going to get up, try to get the rest of this out of me so I can enjoy the rest of my night because I feel bad because I was doing so good. Yeah, she wants to look for the Jersey Devil, Jim. So we'll let you know. Yeah, she's talking about doing the whole Pine Barren things and everything. So yeah, you all have a wonderful night. Sweet dreams. Thank you for hanging out with me. Remember, Gemma's got 11 o'clock premiere Monday at 11 a.m. Chat's open. I will be here Wednesday. And then she will be here for oracles, of course, on Friday. And I will be here Saturday. 9 o'clock on Tuesday. On Wednesday, and 10 o'clock on Saturdays for now. Once I get to feeling better, I'll start pushing the times a little later on Saturday night. Of course, Gemma at 7:15. Thank you. I'm coughing in front of you guys. My nose keeps running. And of course, it waited to do this, and the medicine waited to kick in until I started streaming. So now I feel like a bum. But I do enjoy this time. This is one of my favorite nights. I feel good. I just want to get this crap out of me. And I feel so bad because I keep having the clock click off to sneeze or hack. I don't like doing that. That's just rude. I'm glad we got a couple videos in. So I'll start over. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. Rest of your weekend. Please have a good Sunday. Have a safe Sunday. Watch that weather out there because some of us are going to get some pretty crazy weather. So be safe out there. Have a wonderful night. And I will see you guys on the flip side of Monday.